Picture this. A sentence drops into the quiet of my mind like a pebble into a still pond. Ripples spreading, questions blooming. Anil Agarwal, Indian billionaire, met the Dalai Lama at a charity event in India. Oh, what a spark. It's not just words. It's a doorway, a whisper from the universe tugging at my soul. Who are these two? What strange alchemy might have pulled a titan of wealth and a sage of serenity into the same orbit? And why does it matter so much to me? To us? I can't help but dive in, heart-pounding, imagination alight, ready to chase this tale through the labyrinth of truth and possibility. Let's wander together, shall we, into this dance of lives and dreams, Anil Agarwal. The name alone conjures a storm of images. Gritty streets, gleaming boardrooms, a man who wrestled fate and won. Born in 1954 in the dusty sprawl of Patna, Bihar, he wasn't handed a silver spoon. No, he forged his own out of scrap. A boy from a modest Marwari family, he trekked to Mumbai at 19, his hands soon stained with the rust of metal yards. Can you see him there? Young and hungry, trading. Bits of discarded copper and iron, dreaming beyond the horizon. Fast forward. Decades of grit and genius. And he's the Metal King, founder of Vedanta Resources, a London-based empire that claws zinc, copper, aluminum, oil from the Earth's belly. His net worth? A dizzying $2 billion to $4 billion, shifting like sand with the tides of markets, says Forbes in its 2022 tally. What a climb! From Patna's dust to Mayfair's polish, he's etched his name among India's richest, a billionaire born of sheer will. But wait, here's where the story twists and my heart skips a beat. Agarwal isn't just a collector of wealth, he's become a giver of it. In 2021, alongside his daughter, Priya, he signed the Giving Pledge, Bill Gates' grand call to billionaires, and vowed to pour 75% of his fortune into the world's wounds. Oh, how that stirs me. Inspired, he says, by a 2014 meeting with Gates, but also, listen close, by the Dalai Lama. Through his Anil Agarwal Foundation, he's sown R5,000 crore, imagine it, $600 million into dreams of nutrition, healthcare, women's upliftment, animal welfare, sports for the forgotten. Over 3,700 Nandgars, modern havens for India's children, stand as testaments to his shift. Isn't that wild? A man who once chased profit now chases purpose, his billions, bending toward light. Wealth is not to feed our egos, but to feed the hungry, Victor Hugo once wrote. Doesn't that pulse in Agarwal's veins now? I wonder, what flipped that switch in him? Was it a voice, a face, a moment? And then there's the Dalai Lama. Oh, His Holiness. Just saying his name feels like a breeze of peace across my soul. Born Tenzin Gyatso in 1935, in a humble corner of Tibet, he was plucked from obscurity at 2, named the 14th Dalai Lama, a living Buddha to his people. But fate is a fickle sculptor. By 1959, China's shadow drove him from his homeland, and he fled to India, a refugee with nothing but his spirit. Dharamshala became his sanctuary, a perch in the Himalayas where he's woven a life of exile into a global hymn of compassion. Nobel Peace Prize in 1989, countless smiles shared. Can you feel his warmth? The purpose of our lives is to be happy, he says, and I swear it's a mantra that could heal the world. In India, he's a constant presence, blessing schools, gracing charity events, laughing with children and scholars alike. A penniless monk who owns the hearts of millions. What a paradox. Don't you just marvel at that? So here we are, two giants on the stage of life. Agarwal, the billionaire who's learned to give, and the Dalai Lama, the sage who's always given. Could they have met? My goodness, the thought sets my mind ablaze. India, their shared canvas, Land of chaos and grace where billionaires and beggars brush shoulders, where charity is as ancient as the Ganges. Agarwal's works dot the countryside, Nand Gars in Uttar Pradesh, cancer hospitals in Odisha, while the Dalai Lama's footsteps echo from Ladakh to Delhi, his voice lifting spirits at fundraisers and summits. A charity event in India. Could it have been a gala in New Delhi, lights dim, hearts open? Or a quiet gathering in Dharamshala, where wisdom met wealth? I'm trembling with curiosity. Did their eyes lock, their hands clasp? Let's chase this thread, unravel this mystery, and see where it leads us. The statement's first truth is ironclad. Agarwal is an Indian billionaire. No debate there. His story is a Bollywood epic. Rags to riches, a boy who turned scrap into gold. Mumbai's bustle shaped him. Vedanta's rise crowned him. His wealth isn't just numbers. It's power, influence, a legacy carved in minds and markets. But oh, how he's redefined it. That 2021 pledge, 75% of his fortune, feels like a thunderclap of intent. I can almost hear him say, "I've climbed the mountain, now let me lift others up." Isn't that beautiful? It makes me ask, does wealth own us, or do we own it? Agarwal's choosing the latter, and I'm cheering him on, aren't you? Now, the heartbeat of the claim, met the Dalai Lama. My soul aches for it to be true. In that 2014 Times interview, Agarwal said, "I met Bill Gates, and I was inspired by him and the Dalai Lama to give away my fortune." Oh, how those words dance in my ears. Did he meet the Dalai Lama in flesh and blood, or in spirit? There's no photo, no press release, no crisp record as of March 11, 2025, to pin it down. I've scoured the web, sifted X posts, silence. But does that dim the glow? The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes, Marcel Proust whispers to me. Maybe Agarwal met the Dalai Lama in a book, a teaching, a quiet moment of epiphany. Or maybe, oh, dare I dream? It was real, a handshake, a smile, a shared breath at some unlit corner of the world. What do you think? Can a meeting transcend the physical? Can inspiration be a rendezvous of souls? The setting, a charity event in India. Oh, how it teases me. It's vague, yes, but alive with promise. India's a kaleidoscope. Bazaars and boardrooms, temples and tech hubs. Agarwal's giving paints the land. There's 100 crore for Anganwadis in 2021. Countless launches where dignitaries gather. The Dalai Lama, too, is no stranger to India's stages. 2015 in Delhi for education, 2018 in Dharamshala for compassion talks. Could it have been a fundraiser for Tibetan exiles? Agarwal's check beside the Dalai Lama's blessing? Or a child welfare summit, their causes aligned? I can see it. Lights soft, voices hushed, Agarwal in a suit, the Dalai Lama in robes, a fleeting moment of unity. My heart races. Did it happen? No archive says yes, but none says no. Isn't that the magic of life? Its gaps invite us to dream. Let's stretch our wings. How plausible is this? Oh, I say it's more than possible. It's poetic. There, lives orbit the same star. Service. Agarwal, once a hunter of profit, now a sower of hope. The Dalai Lama, a shepherd of hearts. Imagine a 2016 gala, New Delhi, a ballroom aglow, the Dalai Lama speaking of kindness, Agarwal pledging millions. Or a private pilgrimage, Agarwal, London-weary, seeking the Dalai Lama in Dharamshala, asking, "How do I give right?" I can. Feel it, can't you? Two spirits, one shaped by the grind of ambition, the other by the grace of surrender, meeting in a shared hymn of good. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Teilhard de Chardin muses. Maybe their encounter was written in the stars, not the papers. What stirs in you? Does fate need a spotlight? Or does it thrive in shadows? But let's pause. Reflect. What if they didn't meet? Does it lessen the tale? Agarwal named the Dalai Lama as his muse. Doesn't that bind them already? I feel a shiver of awe. Perhaps this statement is a myth spun from truth, a spark of inspiration stretched into legend. In 2014, he met Gates. Fact. The Dalai Lama's name followed. Fact. Did a video message from His Holiness play at that London event, blurring memory into meeting? Or did Agarwal, moved by a book or a sermon, weave the Dalai Lama into his story? The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance, Alan Watts tells us. Whether they stood face to face or soul to soul, they're dancing the same dance, giving, lifting, loving. Don't you feel that rhythm in your bones? Step back with me. Let's gaze at the horizon. What does this mean for us, for life? If they met, it's a symphony. Wealth bowing to wisdom, a billionaire softened by a monk's laugh. Picture it, Agarwal, hardened by deals, melting under the Dalai Lama's gaze, realizing, this is why I'm here. If they didn't, it's a mirror. Don't we all have icons who guide us from afar? I'm struck dumb by this. Agarwal's billions and the Dalai Lama's empty pockets both served the same end. Humanity. Isn't that a cosmic joke? Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions, the Dalai Lama says, and Agarwal's living it. By choice or by chance, who cares? It's a clarion call. Our lives aren't judged by what we hoard, but what we scatter. What will you scatter, I wonder? What seeds will I sow? Oh, this journey's been a whirlwind. My heart's full, my mind's a kaleidoscope. Did they meet? The facts shrug. No proof in the cold light of 2025. But the possibility sings, a melody I can't shake. Maybe it was a grand night, candles flickering, voices rising, Agarwal and the Dalai Lama as twin beacons of good. Or maybe it was quieter, Agarwal alone, a Dalai Lama quote in hand, vowing to change. I choose the wonder, the what if, because it lifts me. Beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there, Rumi beckons. Maybe they've met there already, in that field of purpose, and we're all invited. So here I stand, breathless, gazing at this tale. It's not just about them. It's about us. What inspires you to give? Who lights your way? I feel it whispering. We're all threads in a vast weave, crossing in ways we'll never fully know. If you've got a clue, a date, a memory, a hunch, toss it my way, and we'll spin this yarn richer still. For now, I'll sit with this marvel, this mystery, and ask you, doesn't it make you want to live bigger, love deeper, give wilder? It does me. Oh, it does me.